Greetings and salutations, muscle members. It's week 2, and once again I'm flying solo, but I think that's just going to be a theme for this year. Although I am going to experiment next week with potentially doing a Google Hangout after I get a webcam and microphone, which usually helps with those things. So week 2 is in the books. We had a lot of teams continue to be undefeated. We had one major game of the week, which featured the number 1 team versus the number 5 team. We'll tell you how that went. We'll tell you who won. We'll tell you who lost. New rankings. Awesome matchups. A lot of stuff to go over. We're going to do it quick, so let's get it going. Alright, so as I said, there was a lot of action this week. A lot of things to go over. I am trying to keep these a little bit shorter than they used to be, over half an hour long sometimes. So without any further ado, we're going to get right into the top. Well, first we're going to do the bottom 10 teams in the league, then we'll do the top 20, going really quick. Number 70, William Shatnerface, last year's defending champion. I don't know, man. Maybe last year was a fluke. Maybe you just suck. I'm thinking both. Number 71, the Beaver Eaters. Number 72, the Dublin Drunks. Number 73, the Colorado Mountain Oysters. Look out. Last year it took Denny, I believe, 6 weeks to get a win. We'll see if that trend continues. Number 74, Demon Roofer. Cougar. What's up? You're the first person to pay for the Survivor League. You paid like over a month ago. And you might be the last person to get a win, it looks like. Number 75, the Moose Knuckles. Old Keith Dowdy. Not doing very much. Number 76, McCloskey and the Penguins. That's a name. Whatever. 76 of the nation, you've scored a total of 89 points this year and you're 0-2. Number 77, Will Be. 88 points. Will Be sucking. That should be your new team name. Number 78, the team left on a doorstep. That's got a name because, well, the team was left on a doorstep. Their owner abandoned them. Thank you, Eric Perez. Not only are you ranked number 70, but you also got us like 6 deadbeat owners, so major congrats to you. I can't wait to defeat you in this Halloween contest here in a couple weeks. Number 79, it's on like Indomikong, bringing pride back to the Seagraves name. My wife will not be last in the league. She will be next to last. Way to go. And number 80, the new worst team in the nation is going to be Benny Richmond's the California Coyotes. I don't know where this guy went, but, well, actually I do know where he went. Straight to the bottom. Waka waka. So that's the bottom 10 teams. Now let's talk the top 20, going through the top, or the middle 10 very quickly. Number 20, Steve Manch. Don't know who you are, but you are 2-0. Number 19, 52 Shades of Clay. Bonnie Monahan's team. Good job. Number 18, who was number 16 last week. Dardar's Dandies. Darius Binks Cook. 2-0. All these teams are going to be 2-0, obviously. Number 17, the Tallywhackers. Number 16, last week's number 4 team, El Domador de Leons, 2-0, although they only scored like 41 points this week, which is why they fell all the way from 4 to 16. Number 15, Vic in the Box moves up 3 spots. Number 14, DeWyans, previously unranked. Number 13, Brady, technically, Brady O'Bush and Providence Power are both number 12 because they have they're both 2-0 and they both have scored 133 points. So they're both technically number 12. Number 11, Ypsilanti Fighting Gophers, another big plummet from number 3 to number 11. And that would be those. Now, we'll talk the number... One of the perks of having this sweet attic is that you get to look outside and see what's going on. And there's some creepy dude walking by. He looks like he's dressed as a security guard. That's pretty bizarre. Anyway, so number 10, ACL Tear. Cracks the top 10. Last week he's number 11. 2-0, 135 points. Number 9, last week's number 15 team, Symphony of Destruction. Don't let this guy fool you guys. This is formerly the Gambler who came in 2nd place last year. So when you play this guy, you might bring the A game. He was number 15 last week. Number 8, I Must Break You. I don't know who that is, to be honest with you, but he was number 17 last week. He's 2-0 with 140 points. Number 7, the Apache Chiefs, 2-0, 144.5 points. Number 6, Unleash the Craggle, vaults all the way from number 20 up to number 6, 2-0. That's Wayne Williams' team, by the way, 145 points. Number 5, Plaxidental Discharge. Was number 5 last week? Still number 5, actually. So, hey, way to stay consistent. 2-0 with 146.5 points. 1 point ahead of him is number 4, Lion Rage, 2-0. Number 3, Now You See Me, Now You Don't, 148.5 points. He was not even ranked last week, so way to go for you. Number 2, at 150.5 points, getting Schneidered. He was ranked number 12 last week. So, without further ado, that means the number 1 team in the nation is the Donkey Punchers. Little suspense here based on that opening video. Also, the fact that he was number 2 last week, and he dropped over 100 points this week. So he is clearly number 1. 2-0, 184.5 points. So that is 34 points more than the number 2 team. More on that in a minute. So those are the top 20 teams in the nation. If your team's not ranked, you know, realistically these rankings don't mean a lot. They just kind of give you an idea of who's where. At the end of the year, these numbers, they actually probably will mean something. So they do mean something, but they don't mean everything, all right? It's not like the number 1 team gets the number 1 seed, although realistically they probably will. Next segment, winners and losers. Kind of jumped all over last week. You know, it's kind of a new thing we did. This week we're going to go strictly winners, strictly losers. So let's get right to it. Obviously, the number 1 winner of this week is going to be the Donkey Punchers. Bill Green's team, as I said, was number 2 last week. Scored 102.5 points this week to put them clearly ahead of the number 2 team. 2-0, 184.5. Way to go. Winner of the week. A second winner of the week. Now, these aren't really in order, but I did have these top 2 here. Second winner of the week, in my opinion, is Squadrils. Notice he was not ranked in the top 20 because he is 1-1. But this dude dropped 104.5 points last week. So, despite the fact that he's not ranked, and again, these rankings don't count for everything at the end of the year, he is, if the season were to end today, he'd make the playoffs because of the fact that he has the second highest amount of points. He actually has 171 points, but he's got a loss, which is why he is not in the top 20. Speaking of the top 20, another winner this week, Now You See Me, Now You Don't. He wasn't even ranked last week. He went from unranked all the way up to number 3, so kudos to Ryan Frazier there. He scored 85 points this week, so excellent job. In terms of divisions, we have the Han Solo division and the Darth Vader division, both big winners this week. And why are they big winners? Because both of those teams still have, or both those divisions rather, still have 6 undefeated teams in them. Okay, now when the season started, we drew on the old Selection Sunday, filmed on a Saturday. We drew the divisions, and we knew immediately that the Darth Vader division would be tough, right? Everyone knew that. Like, oh, this is going to be the toughest division in the league. And guess what? Sure enough, it appears to be the case. Number 1, the Donkey Punchers. Number 3, Now You See Me, Now You Don't. Number 15, Vic in a Box. Number 17, Tallywhackers. Number 18, Dardar's Dandies. And unranked Texas Taco Benders, all in that division. Now, what did I say? I said most of those teams were either in the playoffs or won a championship in the last 2 years. Lo and behold, every team I just mentioned, with the exception of Dardar's Dandies because he's a rookie, are those teams. And on top of that, you still got Squadrils at 1-1, who scored the second highest amount of points, and Sagnasty's Notch Above Top Notches, who was the only 2-time division winner still in that division. Okay. Lastly, we have Troy pulling out on you, also a team, playoff team from last year who's 0-2 off to a rough start. That's going to be an absolutely monumental mountain to climb. So good luck, Troy. Going up to the Han Solo division, also 6 teams there, undefeated. Unleash the Craggle, Providence Power, Brady Bush, DeWines, El Domador de Leons, and Brandon Roy's Knees, also undefeated. Which brings me to my next winner of the week, Brandon Roy's Knees. Wouldn't you know it? This kid always cries about not getting mentioned in the podcast. And you know how you don't get mentioned in the podcast, Ryan Knight? Being mediocre. And that's what you've been the majority of the time you've been in this league here. However, I will give you your due right now. Even though you're not ranked because your team hasn't scored a ton of points, you are 2-0, which makes you a winner of the week, because I believe you won more games this year than you did all of last year, and only 2 weeks in. So undefeated, 2-0. Way to go, Ryan Knight, Brandon Roy's Knees. 2 more winners of the week. Well, technically, I guess it would be 3 more. 2 more groups of winners. One winner that I want to point out is the Apache Chiefs. Okay, now I don't know if you guys have been following the league that closely. If you're in his division, you probably are. This dude is 2-0. Okay, he's ranked number 7 in the country, and last week he won his game by a half a point. This week he won his game by 1 point. This has to be the smallest margin of victory in the history of MUSL, without question. He's won his game by 1.5 points total. That's insane. And he's 2-0. That just goes to show you he's playing quality teams, though, because, I mean, as you can see, being 2-0 doesn't mean you're ranked, obviously. He has scored quite a few points. to be ranked number 7. I believe he scored 144.5. So good job to you. That's why we have this system the way it is, because we like the fact that sometimes you can score a lot, sometimes you can score a little, sometimes you can win with a lot, or win with a little, lose with a lot, as the, what was it, New Orleans Rock Trucks proved last week, 78 points and a loss. And then the final winners that I have for this week are going to be the new girls, okay? Now, a lot of you sexist bigots out there are like, oh, I don't want to have wives in the league because they're just a puppet for, you know, their husbands. Eat a bag of dicks, dude, because here's why. We have 2 new girls here. Well, we might have more than that, but we have 2 new girls that I know who are in this league. And that would be 52 Shades of Clay, owned by the lovely Bonnie Monahan. And also we have Brady O. Bush, who is Ashley Cromwell. Now, if they're just mere puppets of their husbands, then explain to me, oh wise ones, why their teams are ranked and their husbands' teams aren't. I'm calling them out. I'm saying these girls actually are managing their teams and doing a phenomenal job. In the case of 52 Shades of Clay, I got to find them on my list here. They're somewhere in here. They are 2nd in their division, only behind Getting Schneider, number 2. They are 19th overall, and they've scored 122.5 points, and they're 2-0. In the case of Brady O. Bush, they are tied for 12th in the country. They've scored 133 points, also 2-0. Meanwhile, their husbands, who are not official losers on this group, by the way, because I would never do that to them. But where the heck are these dudes? There's so many teams in this league, it's hard to digest where everyone is. Their husbands are Sioux Girls 1 Cup, 1-1, 121 points. And wherever the Riverside Raging Rancors are, can't even find him on here. Wherever, he's not ranked, that's all that matters. So yeah, way to go, girls. You are definitely bringing pride to your family's names. There they are, 1-1, 117.5. So, dare I say it? Dare I say it? The wives better than the husbands. Except for in my family, of course, because my wife is 79th in the country. So hey, whatever. So that brings us to our loser segment, okay? Losers, gonna go through these quick. First loser is any team who started RG3 or AJ Green this week. These are, well, in RG3's case, supposed to be A-list players. AJ Green's definitely an A-list player. They both got injured, like, instantly in their game. Out for an extended period of time, so if you started them, not only did you probably lose, although Apache Chiefs still won, and we all know how that went, but you lost them in more ways than one. You can't use them again, and, you know, you didn't even use them that one time. It's like starting them on a bye, basically. Second loser of the week, California Coyotes. I'm sorry, but you've fallen all the way to number 80 in the polls. That's just terrible. You're a 3rd season owner, I believe. You need to get this ship right, man. You need to get on and say, hey, you know what? My team sucks. I'm not taking any more. I'm throwing everything at us in week 3 because you got to make a win, man. Losers in terms of the divisions, John McClane and Joker divisions. Ha! Aren't they really living up to that name? The John McClane and Joker divisions have a combined 2 undefeated teams in them. The Apache Chiefs and Plaxton Discharge, respectively. But they only have 1 undefeated team in each division. Are you kidding me? I'd give anything to be in that division because I'm in the Darth Vader division with 6 undefeated teams just in that division. It's insanity. So those divisions, pretty terrible, kind of Joker-ish if you ask me. Another loser is going to be William Shatnerface, who won the league last year. This year, really taking that, oh, these non-conference games don't mean much to heart because they are 0-2 to start the title defense. Look out. My final loser of the week, Rod White. This one's going to hit you kind of hard. At about 11:40, I sent Rod White a text message, a picture message, if you will. There is such a thing still. With a picture of my screen showing that Adam Schefter, loser of the week, predicted that there's a 75% chance that neither Alshon Jeffrey or Brandon Marshall would start at the Sunday night game against San Francisco. I sent him that. I saw him go into his team in the fantasy or IFSC, which is our real fantasy league non-survivor, and take them out. Which, you know, his team, I believe, scored 24 points, which is absolutely laughable. What is not laughable is that prick Schefter said this, and then not only did both of them play, but Brandon Marshall scored 3 touchdowns. My God, that's more than Rod's team scored in general. So I'm not calling Rod White the loser of the week. I'm calling Adam Schefter the loser of the week for his piss-poor reporting. 75% chance. Oh man, he was getting blown up on Twitter, and I was loving every minute of it. Okay, so here we go. One last segment. These are the games to look forward to next week. In week 2, we had a whopping 1 matchup of teams that were ranked playing each other. That was number 1 versus number 5. Week 2, there are several of these must-watch games. If your name is set in these games, then you're going to know the other team's going to bring some wood, so you might want to start a good team. First of all, number 16, El Dominador de Leones versus number 9, Symphony of Destruction. I cannot stress it enough, Jackie. This team was second place last year, so bring a good lineup. Symphony of Destruction, guess what? This guy knows this now. He knew it before because I've worked with this guy. You're going to have to bring a good lineup. So, 7.5-point favorites for Symphony of Destruction according to the website, which doesn't really mean dick, but still. Okay, another matchup. Number 8 versus number 7. That would be I Must Break You versus the Apache Chiefs. They're early 2.2-point favorites. Will his trend continue? Will he win a game this time by 1.5 points? We'll see. That's the craziest story of the year so far, without question. Third game to watch. Number 15, Vic in a Box versus number 10, ACL Terror. Don't even have the point spread on there, but the point spread's pointless anyway. This is a big one. Number 1, Donkey Punchers. They really are going to have to prove themselves because they're going up against number 11, the Ypsilanti Fighting Gophers. According to the site, 25-point favorites for the Donkey Punchers, but as we all know, whatever. Another one, number 18, Dardar's Dandies versus number 4, Lion Rage. I mean, yeah, that's five games that feature top 20 teams playing each other. So it's going to be an awesome week for MUSL. Keep in mind that week 3 is the final week of non-divisional play. I've said it from day one, I'll say it till this league is over, that if you're going to lose games, you want to lose these first 3 because they don't hurt you nearly as bad as losing the interdivision or the intra-division games. So you want to make sure that, I mean, well, with these particular teams, you want to throw out everything you can. But, I mean, in Eric Perez's case, William Shatner face, if you're going to lose games, lose the first 3, not the last 9, all right? So that's that. And those are the games to look forward to. One last order of business, and this is completely side-related from everything else. Probably should have been considered a winner, but I don't really know who you are. So I just want to give a shout-out to the team who changed their name to Monica Loves Clinton Dix. I think that is the best thing I've seen in a long time. I mean, Ray Rice Told Her Twice was a good name, but Monica Loves Clinton Dix takes it to a whole nother level. I just got to congratulate that. So, haha, if you will. That's it. We'll be back next week. Hopefully the Google Hangout. Hopefully this guest host, guest co-host, I should say, because you know this guy's not going anywhere. Talk to you later. I'm out.